what if history is missing something? Not just a few details, not just names, not just dates, but entire civilizations, entire worlds that once existed and then disappeared. Not in a single moment, not in chaos, not in destruction, but slowly, quietly, almost as if no one noticed, as if the world simply moved on and forgot. Now think about this. Right now, beneath the ocean, there are structures, massive structures, silent, hidden, waiting, perfect lines, sharp angles, clean edges, shapes that feel intentional, not random, not natural, designed, built, placed there by something or someone. But here's where it gets strange, very strange, because when scientists look closer, they don't fully agree. Some say it's just nature, rock formations, erosion, time-shaping stone. But others say that explanation doesn't feel right because nature rarely creates perfection. Not like this, not this clean, not this precise. So now the question changes. Not what is this, but who made it? And more importantly, why is it underwater? What if we didn't actually lose these cities to war or destruction, but to something much slower, much quieter, something we barely noticed happening right in front of us? Because the truth is, the ocean doesn't just destroy things. It takes them slowly, year after year, wave after wave. The water rises just a little higher. The shoreline moves just a little closer. And before anyone realizes, entire streets are flooded, homes are abandoned, people leave, not all at once, but over generations, until one day, there is nothing left. Above the surface, only silence, only water, and everything that once existed there is now hidden beneath. The ocean. What makes this even more unsettling is that some of these places are not just random ruins, but structures that appear far too organized to be natural. Divers and researchers have reported underwater formations that look like roads, walls, staircases, and even entire layouts that resemble ancient cities. Perfect lines, sharp angles, and patterns that seem almost impossible to form by chance alone. And when you look at them closely, it raises a question that's hard to ignore. Are these just natural rock formations shaped by time and pressure? Or are they the remains of something built by human hands long ago? Something that existed before we thought it was even possible? One of the biggest mysteries is how little we actually know about the ocean itself. More than 80% of the ocean remains unexplored, meaning most of what lies beneath is still completely unknown to us. We have mapped the surface of Mars in greater detail than parts of our own planet's seafloor, which means it's entirely possible that entire structures, ruins, and even cities are sitting there right now, completely undiscovered. Not because they don't exist, but because we simply haven't looked deep enough yet. And that possibility changes everything. Some discoveries have already challenged what we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. There are underwater sites that appear to be thousands of years older than recorded history suggests complex societies should have existed, which raises a very uncomfortable idea. What if advanced civilizations existed far earlier than we currently believe? What if they built structures developed systems, and created cultures that were completely lost over time. Not because they were primitive, but because something happened that erased them from history. And the most interesting part is that these discoveries don't always get the attention you would expect. They appear in reports, documentaries, and research papers, but rarely become mainstream discussions, almost like they quietly exist in the background without being fully explored or explained, which makes people wonder, is it because there isn't enough evidence yet, or because the implications are too big to easily accept? Because if even a fraction of these discoveries are real, it would mean rewriting everything we thought we knew about human history. But not everyone agrees on what these structures actually are. Many scientists argue that natural geological processes can create formations that look artificial, especially underwater, where erosion works differently. Over thousands of years, rocks can crack, shift, and align in ways that mimic human design. And from a distance, it can be easy to mistake coincidence for intention, which means the line between natural and man-made isn't always as clear as we would like it to be. Still, there are cases where the level of structure seems too precise to ignore. Angles that are nearly perfect, formations that repeat in patterns, and layouts that resemble known architectural designs. And when multiple elements come together in one place, it becomes harder to dismiss everything as random. Because nature can create patterns, but it rarely creates entire systems that look planned. And that's where the mystery becomes impossible to fully explain. If even one of these underwater sites turns out to be an actual lost city, it would completely change our understanding of the past. It would mean that history is not a complete record, but only a fragment of what truly happened. That there were chapters we never knew existed, stories that were never told, and civilizations that disappeared without leaving a clear mark, not because they weren't important, but because time and nature erased them. And we are only now beginning to uncover the smallest pieces of that hidden past. So the real question isn't whether lost cities exist beneath the ocean. It's how many are still waiting to be discovered, how much of our history is still missing, and how different our understanding of the world would be if we could see the full picture. Because right now, everything we know might only be a small part of a much bigger story, a story that has been hidden beneath the ocean for thousands of years, and we've only just begun to uncover it.